Okay, so in the last lesson, we started word problems, and all the word problems we did were two items, and the equations were pretty basic because they had to do with, okay, you bought this amount of apples, this amount of oranges, and it costs this total, and you bought this amount of oranges, this amount of apples, and it costs this total. So they were pretty straightforward in their equations. And one thing you'll notice in all those questions is that there were only $2 signs, and those dollar signs represented total amounts. Today, we're still going to be looking for two items, but we're going to know how much each item costs. What we're not going to know is how much we bought of each item or how much total we had of each item. So it changes your equations a little bit. It doesn't change your let statements. So your let statements are still going to look very similar. So in question 12, it says the town recreation department ordered a total of 100 baseballs and bats for the summer baseball camp. So right away, I know those are my two items. So I can write let X equal, I'm going to put balls because if I try to write too much, it's going to look extra sloppy. And then Y equal bats. Again, whatever comes first, make that your X, and then make the other item your Y. Baseballs cost $4.50 each, and bats cost $20 each. Okay, so that's two pieces of information. It's not necessarily like a total amount, though. It's how much each item costs. The total purchase was $822. How many of each item was ordered? So again, you have three equal signs in these types of questions. So I see $20 is one, $4.50 is one, $822 is another one. If we scroll back up to the ones from yesterday, I see $1 sign. Oops. Well, $2 signs. $2, $1 sign, $1 sign. One. Okay, so I should say there was $2 signs, not one. So $2 signs from yesterday, which represented a total, versus $3 signs today. So as soon as you see $3 signs in the same question, that means that all three of those numbers are going to go in the same equation. So in this case, that would mean that my equation would be 450x because baseballs cost $4.50 plus 20y because bats are $20 equals $822. Okay, so I like to say money plus money equals money. All $3 amounts in the same equation. That kind of leaves you with, well, what's my other equation? And kind of the tricky part about these questions is the equation's pretty basic. It usually has to do with the total number of your items. So in this case, the total number is 100. So between baseballs and bats, I had 100. So maybe I have 80 baseballs, 20 bats, or 50-50. I don't know, but what I do know is that if I add the amount together, I get 100. Okay, so then you would solve this. So you would probably multiply the bottom equation by $4.50 to get rid of the x's, or multiply by 20 to eliminate using the y's. You could also use substitution to figure out your answer. The final answer with the work will be posted in the note sheet. I can do the same thing for number 13. A group of 40 children attended a baseball game on a field trip. Each child received either a hot dog or a bag of popcorn. Hot dogs were $2.25 and popcorn was $1.75. If the total bill was $83.50, how many hot dogs and bags of popcorn were purchased? So again, when you're doing these word problems, I think it's really helpful just to think, okay, how many dollar signs do I see? I see one. Go back. 1, 2, 3. So those $3 amounts need to be in the same equation. Okay. Second thing you should think about is, okay, what are the two items? Are they talking about like kids and adults? Are they talking about hamburgers and hot dogs? Okay. Well, they are talking about hot dogs, but they're talking about hot dogs and popcorn. So those are my two items. So I'm going to let X equal, let's see what comes first. Hot dog. Okay, and let Y equal, I'm just going to put popcorn. Pop. Okay, so those are my two items. Again, I have $3 amounts. They all need to be in the same equation. So $2.25 X. Okay, I have $2.25 next to X because X is hot dogs, and it says hot dogs cost $2.25 plus $1.75 Y, which represents how much popcorn is. The total equals $83.50. Okay, that's my first equation. Very sloppy, sorry. My second equation has to do with a total amount. So again, the more basic equation in terms of what it looks like is kind of harder to figure out because it's not as obvious, but they're talking about a group of 40 kids. So every kid gets either a hot dog or popcorn. So maybe like 30 kids get a hot dog, 10 get popcorn, or 20 and 20. I don't know. What I do know is that between all the kids, there will be 40 items. So X plus Y equals 40. Okay. Again, to solve that, you could multiply to get a common coefficient. You could also use substitution. Okay. 14. On one night, a theater sold 548 movie tickets. An adult's ticket cost $6.50 and a child's ticket cost $3.50. In all, $2,881 was taken in. How many of each kind of ticket were sold? So these ticket questions are actually really common. You're looking for two types of tickets. So you have adult tickets and you have child tickets. I'm sure you've all like been to places where, if I make my thing smaller, let X equal, I'm just going to put A for adult and Y for child, where tickets are cheaper if you're a child, right? So maybe you were 10, but your parents said you were 9 because then you got in cheaper, right? That's a common type of question, is about cost of tickets. So X is adults, Y is children. Again, if I focus on the fact that there are $3 signs, $6.50 is one, $3.50 is one, and $2,881 is the other one, that means they need to all be in the same equation. So my equation would be 650 X plus 350 Y equals 2,881. Okay, that's my money plus money equals money equation. My other equation, the more basic, has to do with the total amount. They sold 548 movie tickets. So that means that if I add X and Y, I should get 548. Okay, again, you would solve it, multiply, or use substitution. If you don't mind substitution, sometimes it's a little bit easier instead of elimination for these like word problems with money because you're not multiplying by a decimal, but stick with the process that you feel most comfortable with. I'm going to do one more. So 15, adult tickets for the school musical cost $3.50 and student tickets cost $2.50. On a given night, 321 tickets were sold for $937.50. How many of each ticket were sold? So same idea. It's about tickets. In this case, it's for a musical, not a movie, but it's the same thing that you have adults and you have children. Okay. I see $3 signs, right? Money and money equals money. All three of those have to be in the same equation. So 350X plus 250Y equals $937.50. Okay, that leaves you with only one other value in the question, which is the total amount was 321 tickets. So that means that there was X plus Y equals 321. Okay, again, you'd solve it, and that would be your final answer, is what you got when you solved.